Good morning, and welcome to the Sports Booth. I'm your host, Cade Bergstead, joined by my co-host, Ethan Daubeck. We got a fun little episode for you guys today that will include a breakdown of our own personal PPR draft we did this past weekend with all of our college friends. We'll be giving our personal draft grades for each team and what we might have done differently. With that being said, let's take it to the booth.
How's it going, everyone? We're going to share and break down our college friends' PPR fantasy draft that took place this past weekend, but we added a new twist this year. We replaced team defenses with two individual defensive players, and in my personal opinion, I'm really glad we did. So let's dive into it. First, real quick, some breaking news. Cam Newton has been released by the New England Patriots, giving full control of the offense to Mac Jones, the rookie out of Alabama. What are your thoughts on this?
I do like this. I think Mac's going to be a good fit in New England and under Belichick's system. And, sad for Cam, but good for Mac.
Alrighty, well, let's dive right into the draft. I completely agree. I think it's going to be good for New England in the long run. All right, so the way we're going to break down our draft is instead of going round by round, we're actually just going to give you each team and their draft and who they drafted, and we're just going to give them a quick draft grade right afterwards. So I was at the first overall spot. Cade was at the 12th overall spot. So we both had the turn. And one thing I definitely noticed was when the first 7 rounds or so, I think I really enjoyed all of my picks. And then after that, I got a little hesitant and a little questionable with my picks. And I just think overall the value of player wasn't as good at the turns as it later on in the draft as it was early on. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So anyways, let's just dive on into it. With my first overall pick, I went McCaffrey. Then I went A.J. Brown, Allen Robinson, Darrell Henderson, Mike Davis, Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki, Corey Davis, Antonio Brown, Jamal Adams, Fred Warner, Tua, Fitz, Mason Crosby. The one thing I would have done different was not taking Tua or Fitz, just taking Trey Lance, picked up another quarterback on the waivers for week 1 or week 2 until Trey Lance had become available. And then I would have been able to take A.J. Dillon for just a 4th running back. So I really screwed the pooch on that. I didn't see that Trey Lance was still on the board at the time. So I really messed up there. What would you give my team grade, though?
I'll give you a solid B+.
Yeah, I give myself a B+, A-. I just have a couple guys that I'm really questionable about. Jalen Waddle, if he can turn it into something big, he could easily be the wide receiver there in Tampa, the wide receiver 1 there in Miami. And if he is, he very well could have top 24 wide receiver potential, which in that case, I'm going to be playing him on a weekly basis. So I would say draft grade, B+, potential grade, I would say right around A-, depending on if I get my quarterback situation figured out.
Yeah, for me, it was your quarterback, your tight end, and then I guess just a question mark around Jalen Waddle.
Yeah. But, I do have A.J. Brown and Allen Robinson, so it's not like Jalen Waddle's my number 2 or anything.
Exactly. You can always put Mike Davis in at the flex.
Easily,
or Corey Davis.
Extremely comfortably. All right, do you want to break down team 2 for us?
Yeah, so team 2, they started off with Alvin Kamara, then on to Justin Jefferson, Chris Carson, Justin Herbert, Kyle Pitts, Devontae Smith, Chase Edmonds, Leonard Fournette, Michael Thomas, Juju Smith-Schuster, Budda Baker, Nick Bosa, A.J. Dillon, and Matt Gay for the kicker. What would you grade that?
I would have to say I'm going to give that. There's just a few questions on it for me. I really like Kamara, Jefferson, Carson as his top 3 picks. I think he reached early on Herbert. There's always that question about Kyle Pitts, being a rookie tight end. I would say draft. I would say B plus. Especially just because Michael Thomas is his wide receiver 3 right now. And say Devontae Smith doesn't work out, all of a sudden his wide receiver 2 is going to be Juju with no wide receiver 3. He just doesn't have the depth at receiver. I really am not a huge fan of any of his backup running backs other than AJ Dillon. I'm going to give him a B plus, right on somewhere on that verge. What about you?
I'd say B plus. I really do like his starting lineup with Kamara, Carson, and then Jefferson, Devontae Smith, Kyle Pitts, I think, and then Herbert at the quarterback.
I see Devontae Smith in the same way as I see Jalen Waddle, with a worse offense.
Yeah. And then, like you said, he just kind of has a lack of depth there at the receiver as we go later.
Exactly. And I mean, Devontae Smith had already got injured the very first week of training camp. Yeah. I mean, like, he is a small guy. He does not weigh a lot. He is not big by any means. One big hit and he could be down. Like, I hate to see it. I hate to say that because I'm a huge fan and I hope he does great things in the NFL. But size in the NFL really does matter. And one big hit, he could be out for a while. And you definitely have to take that into account a little bit, especially taking him as your wide receiver 2.
Yep. He just needs Gardner Minshew thrown to him.
Yeah, exactly. All right, team 3 went Dalvin Cook, DeAndre Hopkins, Darren Waller, Amari Cooper, Dak Prescott, Gus Edwards, Myles Gaskin, Michael Pittman, Jamal Williams, Dwayne Brown, I think that's how you say it. That's his defensive player. Joey Bosa, Will Fuller, Devin Coleman, and Ryan Suckup. What do you get that?
For that team, I had him at an A minus.
A minus, yeah, same. I really like his team. I think he's got good depth at his running back position. His running back 2, Gus Edwards, I think he's going to be a fine running back too. I think he'll be top 24 this year. Myles Gaskin, I think, will be fine. Jamal Williams will be okay if anything ever happens to Swift. Devin Coleman won't do anything. Tevin Coleman, excuse me. Yeah, so A minus. All right, you want to break down team 4 for us?
Yeah, so team 4, we start off with Derrick Henry, Stephon Diggs, George Kittle, Josh Jacobs, Adam Thielen, Robbie Anderson, Ryan Tannehill, Zach Moss, Damian White, Bobby Wagner, Jalen Hurts, Harrison Butker, Dallas Goedert, and Michael Gallup. What would you grade that?
I would give that team, I would probably say an A minus. A minus. I'm right on the verge of being on an A, but yeah, I will say A. I really like his quarterback. He was my favorite quarterback going in the draft, and he was 3 picks away from getting back to me. I was going to take him there. Oh, no, excuse me. He was going the other way. I decided to take Waddle and Gesicki over him. I had a feeling he wouldn't get back to me. That's just the way I chose to play it. Gesicki was kind of this tight end that I had been targeting all along. So I'm not entirely upset with it. But I really like Ryan Tannehill. I like his receivers. I like his running backs. I give it an A.
Yeah, I would also give it an A, but my one question mark is going to be on Josh Jacobs this year. I don't know. I have a question mark on him.
Yeah, his running back 2 position definitely has a little bit of weakness there. But I think he'll make up for it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there is also – I love Derrick Henry. As you can tell, I'm a big Alabama fan. So I like anybody that comes out of there. Derrick Henry is now in an offense with 2 extremely dynamic receivers. Do I still expect him to be the face of that team and for them to still run the ball a majority of the time? Yes. But I do see a slight regression I think he's going to finish right around running back 5 or 6 this year.
So, you have Josh Jacobs at 5 or 6?
No, Derrick Henry.
Oh, gotcha.
So he's got a solid running back backing up Josh Jacobs. Or not backing up, but making up for Josh Jacobs. But I think he really got lucky with Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, and Robbie Anderson. 1, 2, 3. And he also got Kittle in the mix. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Team 5 went Jonathan Taylor, Travis Kelce, David Montgomery, Robert Woods, Chris Godwin, Deontay Johnson, Matthew Stafford, Odell Beckham Jr., Darius Leonard, Curtis Samuel, J.K. Dobbins, Devin Singletary, Levante David, and Jason Sanders. What's your grade?
I think this is an A. I do like this team.
I'm still not entirely sold on Jonathan Taylor. David Montgomery, I think he's still going to be fine. I don't think we're going to see quite the explosive season we saw last year. But I'm going to say A-. With not, in my personal opinion, not a whole lot of potential. Jonathan Taylor, if he plays up to his running back 6 potential or running back 5 where he was drafted in this draft, that's a good value. Travis Kelce is an incredible value at the second round. Other than that, David Montgomery, that is a little bit of a reach there in the middle of the third round. Same with Chris Carson as the second pick in the third round. Robert Woods, he's going to be good. I think he's going to have a cap because of Cooper Kupp. I think Cooper Kupp will be the more dominant receiver in that offense. Chris Godwin obviously is going to get a lot of targets, but with AB going to be fully integrated into this offense, AB very well could be the wide receiver 1 by the end of this in that offense by the end of this season. So there's just a lot of questions and things very well could go bad. So I would say draft A-. Potential. He could have reached for a good amount of his players. Or not a good amount, but for David Montgomery, which I think really hurt him. I guess there really wasn't anybody else that good out there.
You could have taken Darrell Henderson or Josh Jacobs or James Robinson.
Yeah, so, there's not a whole lot of... James Robinson wouldn't have been a horrible pick. I kind of put him on the same level as David Montgomery, Chris Carson. Our drafters hit running backs so heavy, so early, that there was nothing by the time it came back. But yeah, so I could see his team winning it all. I could also see his team kind of breaking down a little bit and him not even making the playoffs. So very up in the air. I think overall I do like his team, though. I'm going to say A-.
Yeah, the only thing I might have done differently is swap Chubb instead of picking Taylor in that spot.
Yeah, that would honestly make his team a lot different for me.
Speaking of Chubb, Team 6 started out with Nick Chubb, then Calvin Ridley, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Kyler Murray, Cooper Kupp, Kenny Golladay, Logan Thomas, James Conner, Marvin Jones Jr., Martinez, Schobert, T.Y. Hilton, Younghoe Koo, and Trey Lance.
I really want to give this team an A-, but I can't.
Why is that?
Because of their running back situation. What happens if Clyde Edwards-Helaire just has an awful season, or not an awful, but just not a fantasy season you're expecting out of a running back too? Then all of a sudden your next, or if one of your running backs gets hurt, your next man up is James Conner.
Yeah.
That is just a huge, and especially with how thin the running back position is, it if James Conner might not even be the primary back. Who knows? Chase Edmonds might get that. There's just a lot of about the. I'm just scared about his running backs, and that's the only reason. And then also, I don't disagree with the Trey Lance pick very last, but I don't exactly understand what he's going to do with him since he has Kyler Murray, and we only have 5 bench spots in this league, so I don't think it's smart to have a draft spot wasted on another quarterback when you already have Kyler Murray as your main quarterback,
Yeah, it might just be a little bit of sabotage there.
It could be. And I mean, if he's looking for a trade offer, then he's looking for something extremely high because I already shot him an offer. I offered him straight up Antonio Brown for Trey Lance. That's as good of an offer as I'm going to give at any point during the season. And everybody else pretty much has a quarterback they're going to be comfortable with for the entire season. So he's either going to be sitting him on his bench, playing him over Kyler Murray, or he's going to end up on the waiver wires. So I'm out on offering for either him or Justin Fields. So, but anyways, I give his grade a B+.
Yeah, I'm going to give him an A-.
A-?
Yeah.
Okay. Team 7. All right. They went Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, Josh Allen, Jerry Jeudy, Brendan Ayuk, Melvin Gordon, Robert Tonyan, Myles Garrett, Jarvis Landry, Cam Jordan, Henry Ruggs, Philip Lindsay, and Matt Prater. What do you grade that team?
I give it between a B and a B+.
Okay, I'm going to give it a B- to B, just because it had Jamar Chase pick.
Yeah, especially right after Joe Mixon.
I mean, honestly, if he had gone CeeDee Lamb, Terry McLaurin, Mike Evans, Robert Woods, or Amari Cooper, or even Chris Godwin, in my opinion, or Cooper Kupp, if he had gone with any of those over Jamar Chase for his wide receiver 1, it would have been such a better team. He just wasted a draft pick. So yeah, I'm definitely, especially a 3rd round draft pick, that's going to be valuable. So yeah, I'm giving this a B-.
Alrighty, team number 8 started off with Saquon Barkley, Austin Eckler, CeeDee Lamb, Russell Wilson, T. Higgins, TJ Hawkinson, Deebo Samuel, Ronald Jones, Chase Young, Raekwon Smith, Justin Tucker, Darnell Mooney, Brandon Cooks, and David Johnson. What would you grade that?
I have some questions about Barkley just regarding his health and just the fact that I think the Giants are going to be one of the 3 worst teams in the NFL this year. I don't think Daniel Jones will get it done. I think they're going to be throwing the ball a lot more than you would want if you were a Saquon manager, but he backed it up with Austin Eckler, which I think is excellent and makes that Barkley pick excellent. So overall, I actually really like the Barkley Eckler 1-2 punch right there. And then he went CeeDee Lamb, T. Higgins as his receivers. I really love Russ. TJ Hawkinson's going to be good. I like this team a lot. I'm going to give them an A.
Okay, I'm going to give them a B+ just because of Saquon Barkley, questionable health, and the Giants have a terrible offensive line once again.
Yeah, but the potential that you're getting with Barkley, if he does return to what he was, with Eckler, I mean, that's just a dynamic 1-2 punch. Now, if he had gone receiver or even Joe Mixon there, I would not have liked it. But since he was somehow Eckler fell to him, I really like it.
Yeah, but if he loses one of them, he has Ronald Jones, who I'm not too confident in.
I'm not too confident in either, but Heck, it's better than team 7, who has their backup being Melvin Gordon, or team 5, who has James Conner.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not completely sold on it. I think they have potential. They have one of the most potential teams to succeed, but they might not even have Barkley in week 1.
That's fair.
Which is fine with me because that's who I play week 1.
But it's only week 1, and I mean, we get an extra week in the season this year.
Exactly.
So, alrighty. Team 9, Davante Adams, Najee Harris, DJ Moore, Lamar Jackson, Julio Jones, Raheem Mostert, Noah Fant, DJ Chark, Michael Carter, Zach Cunningham, Miles Jack, Justin Fields, Tyler Bass, and Ramondre Stevenson. What do you grade that?
That one I had at a B+.
I got them at a B just because of their running back position that they're in. I mean, Mostert might not even, once Trey Sermon gets the nod, I mean, who knows? Trey Sermon could just be the dominant back. There's just a lot of questions around Mostert, and the fact that he's a lot of questions around Mostert, in my opinion. And the fact that he's his running back 2 scares me a lot. And then the only other option would be Michael Carter.
Yeah, and he might not even be the guy there.
Moore is a good enough wide receiver 2. I'm not confident enough in DJ Moore to do what he did 2 years ago, because I don't think Sam Darnold's going to get it done. So I don't really like his wide receiver 2 a whole lot. I love Davante Adams, Najee Harris. Lamar Jackson's fine there, but I would have gone Russ Allen or Kyler Murray over him. Julio Jones is a fine wide receiver 3. DJ Chark's a fine wide receiver 4. I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm gonna give it a 4, or excuse me, I'm gonna give it a B+, B to B+.
Alrighty, moving on to Team 10. They started with Antonio Gibson, Keenan Allen, Mark Andrews, Mike Evans, Aaron Rodgers, Damian Harris, Tyler Higbee, Trey Sermon, Aaron Donald, Hollywood Brown, Kendricks for the Vikings, Joe Burrow, Jason Myers, TJ Mosley.
Yeah, I think this is a decent team. The fact that Mac Jones is the starting quarterback in New England now makes that Damian Harris pick a lot more valuable. I think Damian Harris will finish in the top 24 running backs this year, especially now that he's going to get those goal line touches that he just wasn't getting as often with Cam Newton. So I think Antonio Gibson, Damian Harris is fine, but the fact that he could have gone in the first round, he could have easily gone Zeke and either Gibson or Harris, or Eckler in the second round, kind of upsets me. I think he could have just done a lot better of a job. I'm going to give this a B.
Yeah, I agree. I also have it at a B.
All right. Team 11, Tyreek Hill, DK Metcalf, starting off with the wide receiver punch. DeAndre Swift, Kareem Hunt, Miles Sanders, Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, Tyler Boyd, TJ Watt, Kenyon Drake, Jordan Poyer, Go Beavs, Nyheim Hines, Greg Zuerlein, and Kirk Cousins. What do you rate that?
I give it a B+.
Me too. I really like her receivers. Obviously, Tyreek Hill, DK Metcalf. No complaints there. Although I would have personally taken Ridley, Diggs, Hopkins, Jefferson. Probably not Jefferson. I would have taken Hopkins, Diggs, and Ridley all over DK personally. But to each their own. Obviously, I'm a big Hawks fan, so I hope DK has a wide receiver 1 year this year. Would not mind that at all. DeAndre Swift, he's a starting running back. He's not going to be bad if he stays healthy. Miles Sanders, healthy running back. I mean, they don't have huge ceilings, but the fact that you started off receiver in the first round makes that a lot better because you just have slim pickings at that point. So I don't disagree with it at all. I like it. And then Tom Brady, I think, is going to be a top 5 quarterback this year. Yeah, I give her a solid B+.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
Now,
Alrighty. And you want to tell them your team?
Yep. Team 12, aka me. I started with Zeke, then Patty, Terry McLaurin, James Robinson, Tyler Lockett, Javonte Williams, Chase Claypool, Laviska Shenault, Irv Smith Jr., sad news, Cortland Sutton, DeForest Buckner, Jacoby Myers, Justin Simmons, and Hot Rod Rodrigo Blankenship. What would you give me?
I like it. There's some things I don't like. I just think you reached on Patrick Mahomes. That's the only thing I think you wasted it, or not wasted, because Patrick Mahomes is obviously going to be a very important part of your team. But I think you could have just, I think you could have gotten him in the 3rd round. And even if you couldn't have, I think just the value in one of those other running backs or receivers could have helped your team out tremendously.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue that.
What?
So I'm not going to argue that, but
yeah,
trust in Patty, baby.
No, absolutely. I think the biggest thing that really knocks it from me is I really do think you could have gotten him there in the 3rd round. Because it doesn't look like anybody was really gonna take quarterbacks until Dane. So
yeah,
I think you could have gotten away with that, which means you could have had Metcalf, Allen, Diggs, whoever, and then you could have gone Patty and Robinson at the turn instead of having McLaurin. But that's the only knock I have on your team. So I'd give it an A-, B+, A-.
Yeah, I'd give myself a B+. That tight end pick didn't help me, but I did
definitely
recover.
I mean, you could have taken Kelsey over Mahomes. Shit.
Yeah, I think I was thinking Austin Eckler in that spot, but
yeah, it's not bad. But I mean, Kelsey,
it's basically like another wide receiver.
Pretty much at a position where nobody else is going to even come close to him.
Yeah.
At least I don't see that happening. Well, that wraps up our fantasy draft today, guys, and that's actually going to be it for our show today. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow where we are going to have our weekly news episode. We're going to give you a breakdown on the MLB playoff races as they heat up heading into the final month. We will also be breaking down the NFL, who is starting, who is not, who got cut on cut day yesterday, and all of that good stuff. So make sure you guys tune into that. And then make sure you also tune in on Friday where we're going to give you our AFC over-under for the year. You're definitely going to want to tune into that. We got a lot of good stuff for you. We will also be giving our first ever NCAA edition of our Upset Lock and 50-50 Shot of the Week. So make sure you tune in to see what we have to say and why. One last reminder letting you know that on October 1st, we are aiming to launch our website where you'll be able to find our merchandise store where you can purchase all of our weekly NCAA Top 25 picks as well as all of our weekly NFL picks. And it will also serve as an organized space where you'll be able to find all of our episodes organized by show topics such as fantasy news and betting. After review, the booth says it's good. Have a splendid day, everyone, and if your drafts are coming up, go kill it.